Tyrann Mathieu on Saints' angry mindset and facing Kirk Cousins in the NFC South. Let's go ahead and hear from the Honey Badger, shall we?
What do you tell people who are, obviously focusing on Atlanta? Kirk Cousins is there, and their draft choice decision that they made, and we're talking about Atlanta, and Raheem Morris is there, and you know how a lot of players feel about him and respect him, and then there's the Buccaneers who won the division last year and kept all of their folks, and that's where a lot of the, I guess, conversation attention is. What do you say to that, Tyrann?
Well, I think, rightfully so. I think the Bucs have really done a good job of, just closing out the season, the last couple of years, right? I think the division has really come down to, week 17, week 18, right? And those guys have been able to kind of, hold it down. I think anytime you get a new coach, pretty good quarterback with Atlanta and, with the skilled position players that they have, there's always going to be excitement.
Remember, the coach that they got, Raheem Morris, defensive guy, somewhere around 15, 16, 17 games under 500 as a head coach. Tyrann said it best, pretty good quarterback. That's about right, okay? Tyrann said skill position players. People are mixing this up. Skill position players, if y'all can hear the sirens, the world, it's just unbelievable. Skill position players, I think right now is synonymous with Bijan Robinson. Because if you take out Bijan Robinson, just take him out, their skill position players are not very good. The Falcons' skill position players all of a sudden become Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Kyle Pitts. That's below average at best. So whenever you hear people say the Atlanta Falcons have dangerous weapons or skill position players or playmakers or whatever, they are exclusively talking about Bijan Robinson.
Around that, and rightfully so. I think for us, man, we just come up short, maybe 2-3 years in a row now, man. But what I want the world to know is that, man, you got a motivated Saints team.
There you go.
Like we're itching for it. Like we want the challenge. And we're looking forward to it. So, I wouldn't turn the eye to us too much. You know what I mean? Like,
there you go.
Because we're gonna come. We come in the season, and we're pretty mad about it. So, you can expect that. You can expect an angry bunch, a team that plays with attitude, a team that plays with edge, and wherever the chips fall, they fall. But we're gonna blow our whole load. Like we're gonna be ready to roll.
You're going to what? You're going to blow your whole what? Is that the all-time pause? Is that the all-time pause of all-time pauses? Can he say that, chat? You're going to blow your what? This is a family channel. Tyrann, families watch this at the dinner table. My God. People are eating mashed potatoes and gravy and trying to enjoy their roast chicken. And what are we talking about? Blowing our whole loads right here in front of God and everybody? Have mercy.
What are you angry about? What are you angry?
Well, I think for me, personally, and for the Saints, we, historically, like this has been a pretty good team. This has been a team that's made the playoffs, year in and year out. The team that has, pretty much won the division, year in and year out, and it just hasn't gone that way for us. And so, I think all of us are kind of used to, playing in the postseason and winning divisions and just playing in meaningful games. And I think the last couple of years it hasn't really been that for us. So, I think it's time for us to kind of get back to, who we are, what we're capable of.
Exactly. Tyrann is right. Not about the blowing the... He's right that this team is historically a good team. This team is historically a team that wins. Historically, a team that goes to the playoffs. Historically, a team that wins the division. So they are probably pissed off. They are probably, angry. They are probably they lost. Think about this. They lost the division last year on a tiebreaker. They can't be happy about that. They don't like that. They didn't win 4 games last year. This team won 9 games. They were right there, right? So he's right, and that's what we've been screaming. We've been screaming that. We've been screaming that this is not a laughingstock team. This is not a bottom of the NFL team. This team is a good team. This team has been a good team. The bottom of the rock bottom for us is 9 wins. Like, that's what last year was rock bottom. Last year was, for a lot of Saints fans, the worst Saints season they can remember in a long time. Most disappointing, however you want to phrase it. And it's 9 wins. So he's right. For a team that with the historical record the Saints had, 3 years without going to the playoffs, without winning the division, all the turnover they had to have with the offensive staff and the roster, like, they probably are pretty pissed off.
Well, I mean, you're going to have some opportunities right off the bus in week 1. I mean, you've got an division opener, Carolina. You need to win those games at home, and then after that, I mean, at Dallas, that's always an attention grabber. Certainly there in the Gulf South, the Eagles come into your house. That is of significance. Then you're at Atlanta, and it's always on when those two teams have at it. At the Chiefs on a Monday night, whole country will be watching that, and then home for Tampa. In the first 6 weeks, that's pretty big. You can make a statement right off the bat,
sure.
Tyrann.
You go 2-3. I think you go 2-3, and you make a statement. You go 3-2, something like that. Oh, baby.
Yeah, and it's a great challenge. I mean, all those teams are, perennial, playoff teams. I think some of those teams have, this great excitement, right? They have new coaches, new players, and so, I think the first 6-7 weeks for us is going to be extremely important.
Yes.
I think whereas, a lot of teams kind of worry about the back half of the season, I think it's going to be all about how we start, this season. And so, obviously you want to be healthy. You want your best players out there, but, you always look forward to the challenge. And so, like you said, Rich, I mean, it's a lot of great teams on that list, but, we putting in work. Training camp has been, everything we thought it would be. It's challenging. We're going against a new offensive scheme. You know what I mean? So, it's helping us kind of sharpen up our axe. You know what I mean? And communication and, just all the things that go into playing good defense. And, I think offensively, it's a lot of excitement on our side too. Like, we can't wait to see those guys, do what they do, in this offensive scheme. And so
I am very excited for that as well, Tyrann. We'll get back to the schedule. What we need to focus on, I know the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Chiefs, big names, whatever. We focus on beating the Falcons. We focus on beating the Panthers. Anything else is extra. You go 2-3 in that spot, you damn near win the division right there. Now, that's crazy to say. That's crazy to say. But it's that easy. Because if you beat Atlanta in Atlanta, and then you predictably, or you would think we'd beat Atlanta at home if we're going to beat them on the road, If you do that, you pretty much win the division. So I understand, like, the conversation of, like, well, we'll go 4-1. We'll go 5-1. We'll go 6-0, 5-0. We just got to go 2-3, and got to make sure that those wins are against Carolina and Atlanta. Now, does that mean we can't win 3? Go 3-2? No. Anything over that is extra, right? Cowboys, extra. Eagles, extra. Chiefs, extra. All of a sudden then, ladies and gentlemen, if we beat the Cowboys, if we beat the Eagles, whatever, all of a sudden then, that's how you get to that 11 wins. That's how you get to that 10, 11, 12 wins. When you start beating those extra teams, like the Browns, like the Rams. Do we have to beat those teams to win the division? No. Would it be nice if we did? Yes, of course. No doubt. But let's keep everything focused here. Okay.
So, we're looking forward to it.
What are you willing to share about what's different on that side of the ball?
Oh,
Tyrann?
yes.
New
Tell me.
offensive
Oh
scheme.
man, it's fun, man. I say, the attitude, man. I think the energy
There
and
you
then the
go.
attention too. Like, we got a lot of young guys on that side of the ball, and those guys are focused. They're ready. They're excited about it, and we know we got the playmakers too. We got a running back that can do it all.
Yep.
We got obviously Taysom Hill. He's
Yep.
another guy that can do it all, and I think we have enough speed and enough athleticism. On the outside that, we could run the ball, we could throw the ball. We'll be able to do whatever we want to do, as long as those guys, just stay committed to it. You know what I mean? And so, it's going to be fun defensively, for sure. Seeing those guys score points and, just run the yards up, that creates more opportunities for guys like me to.
Yeah, obviously, the best thing a defense can have is the offense be good. Keeps the defense off the field. Makes the other offense get into bad situations. Like Tyrann's saying, if we score, we go up 28-0. All of a sudden now they got to start tossing the ball around. They got to start letting it rip. And then Tyrann, like you said, he can do his thing.
Close out games.
Yeah, and then you got 2 home dates that are going to be jump off the screen at you as well. After those first 6 games, you got a Thursday night game against the Broncos with Sean Payton coming back into the house.
Ooh.
What do you think that's going to be like that night?
That's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting.
That's going to be outrageous.
Can, play against quality opponents. You could play against quality coaches. That brings fans, man. That brings the energy to the building. You know what I mean? I think amongst players and fans, like we all know, what these games mean, right? And it kind of goes without being said, right? And so I think for our fans, it's going to be exciting, and I think for the players, man, like it won't be hard to get up for that game.
Right.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
And then your quarterback's got the Raiders coming into his house, in the house. What do you think it's going to be like for Derek on that week, Tyrann?
Well, hopefully we can play great defense that day and just continue to give him the ball and just give him as many chances as we can to score points, right? Because, obviously.
I mean, talk about what a season. Like, you're talking about Sean Payton coming back. You're talking about Sean Payton coming back, and then the Raiders coming in and Derek Carr getting revenge there. Unbelievable storylines.
He would have hoped that that kind of stint ended a little better than it did, and so we're looking forward to it.
Okay, in the few minutes I have left with you here, just to not to stir it up, but I'll do it anyway. You don't mind if I stir it up. When you referred to the Falcons' new quarterback as pretty good. Sounds like there could be more stronger adjectives to be applied to the opposing quarterback. Tyrann, pretty good.
Well, he's always been, a great quarterback. I think he's always been, overachiever. I think
Cousins is pretty good. Like that's one of the crazy things. Like Cousins is pretty good. I agree with Tyrann. I would that's how I would label Kirk Cousins, pretty good. I would label Derek Carr, pretty good. I would label Dak Prescott, pretty good. Geno Smith, man, he might not be pretty good, but I just don't understand how you can sit there and say anything else about Kirk Cousins. Like, how could you sit there and say great? How could you sit there and say amazing? How could you sit there and say elite? He has done nothing to prove that to me.
He's always been a guy that, can really take what you give him and, make the most of it. And so, he's not a quarterback that, I'll ever disrespect or I'll ever overlook. I think he can make every throw. I think he can put his team in position, at the line of scrimmage to be in the best play call. So, and he's done this a long time, so I've played against him a few times and just looking forward to it, man. You love playing against great players. You love playing against great coaches. And me personally, man, I love playing against quarterbacks that give me a chance. To make a play. So I just look forward to that.
That's a 12-year veteran answer right there. That's a guy who's been in the league a dozen years right there. Catch the Rich Eisen Show.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Tyrann Mathieu on the Rich Eisen Show. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good answers from Tyrann. Saying a lot of the same stuff we're saying on here. I like to hear that they are coming into this season angry. They're coming into this season with a chip on their shoulder. I think that's good for the Saints, good for the defense. That's when the Saints' defense is the most fun, is when they are flying around. They do have an energy about them. They do They do have all that going on. So I'm glad to hear that from Tyrann. Good interview. Good stuff there.